Hello, 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 and happy Lughnasadh, or Lammas, whatever you wish to call it. I prefer Lughnasadh because I have a working relationship with the deity Lu. Um, Lughnasadh is named after Lu. I made a video about Lu, and it will be linked at the end of this video. It's my most recent video besides this one, so please go check it out. It's just a quick, really quick, short 101 about who Lu is. So that's one way for you to kind of celebrate Lughnasadh today. Um, However, other ways I think to celebrate Lughnasadh, besides maybe watching that video, would be not having your cats fight in the corner of the room as you film this, but it would be to do an Ogham readings or rune readings would be fine too. But if we want to really, dig to the core of like Celtic stuffs, we would do Ogham or Colbrin, I guess. But that's very debatable. So I have this flashcard for you. I decided to pull Phagos as an Ogham recommendation for today because, as you may or may not know, I like to kind of pull unconventional Ogham for the holidays, not the ones that would seem the obvious. Like Mun would be very obvious for today because Mun is the harvest, but I didn't want to pull that. So I pulled Phagos. I personally do associate Phagos with Lu. It is the beech tree, if you're curious. This is it. It was a later addition to the Ogham, not the original set. Some things that I attribute Phagos to, there's a lot of different attributes to Phagos. But the ones I like are retrocognition, that's seeing into the past, psychic phenomena in general, the past informing the present, and ancestors, which kind of wraps that up because the ancestors are in the past. They do help us inform ourselves in the present. Can you guys hear that? My cats are just like having a drag out fight. Actually, they're playing. Hey. No. So anyway, as they run to separate corners of the room. So anywho, where were we at? Ancestors. So Luke is a bit of a spiritual ancestor to all of us with Celtic ancestry, but also to all of us who just pledge ourselves to the Celtic paths. He's open to everyone, as I spoke about in the last video as well. He's kind of like the Ganesh of the Celtic pantheon in that he loves everyone and welcomes everyone and generally enjoys human interaction. So yes, going back to Phagos, this would be a very good Ogham for you to work with today and meditate on, I think. Today could be a good day to look at your past and see how it is informing your present. How is the past still affecting you? My cats are still being very disruptive. There's one of them right there. So anyway, happy Lughnasadh. So I thought I would just give us a moment of some quiet, although I don't know if that's going to happen with my cats at the moment. One moment. um, this is Siren. He's my oldest cat. He's a good boy most of the time. Anywho, I thought I would give us a moment of quiet and have a moment to do a candle prayer / spell if you want it to be. Because Lu is considered while he's a god of many things, he's a god of he is specifically a god of magic. So rites of magic would be very appropriate for him today, as would feats of athleticism, but that's not for all of us. So a lot of us may want to do just the feats of magic. But he's also a god of light and the sun and the weather. So I thought we could do a candle spell. I've already prepared a just a simple white candle, although I would prefer to use a brown, orange, or yellow because those are colors I associate with blue personally. But we're going to use white. I've already anointed this candle in black cat oil. However, you can anoint it in whatever herbs or oils that you wish. So, I don't know what's up with my cats. So, the struggles of being a fur parent and a modern day pagan is disruptions. So, I'm just going to light this candle. And of course, it goes out. What is this omen for Lughnasadh today, you guys? Disruptions. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, I'm just going to take this moment to close my eyes and say my own prayer to Lu, and you can join in if you want. Okay. So, I'm just going to set this over here to the side. So, other things that I think are good besides, as I said, doing some kind of magic today for yourself or for the planet or whomever, because Lu loves magic, is to say prayers to Lu, invoke Lu, go meet Lu in an astral journey, in an astral vision. That's always really neat as well. Trying to engage with him and like get a vision of him, see him in a human form. That's always fun to do with a deity. Um, yeah, do divination for yourself in any medium, as long as it's earnest and heartfelt. However, I will say I find that if you are going to invoke Lu, invite Lu in, or in any way interact or ponder on Lu, and you don't have a regular working relationship, or even if you do, Lu really enjoys an offering, like a lot. I know sometimes some of us modern pagans may think, "Why am I leaving an offering? I'm wasting food. Like, what am I doing? What's the point?" Or maybe you're not feeling that energy exchange between you and the deity or whatever. But I think you'll find that that experience, I'm sorry, does feel different with Lu, and he does enjoy beer a lot, alcohol. Um, However, milk and honey is also very loved, and nuts. I have found that like dried nuts and honey go a really long way with Lu. Milk and honey is kind of a classic for all the Celtic gods, especially the Sidhe, which are the Irish Celtic gods. Um, they're very popular offerings to give, so you can always fall back on milk and honey. But as I said, dried nuts seem to be very popular as well as beer. But you can give anything as long as it's heartfelt, I think, and Lu will appreciate. He's a very, very kind God in that way, as I've spoken about in the previous video. So, as I said, just, if you're going to invite him in or invoke him or ask for something, give him an offering in exchange. And if you're going to do spells today, of course, healing spells are a really good thing to do today, I find. However, also, it's important to note that historically, we sort of think that Lunasa sort of, in addition to being like a celebration of athleticism on that day, like they would perform games and feast, that there was kind of an alternative way of celebrating Lunasa, and that was like as a remembrance of the dead. And yes, they do that on Samhain, but specifically at Lunasa, they would remember mothers or mothers, like mothers who are no longer with us, and that is because there is a story of Lu where he loses his own mother. It is a very popular story, and some people believed that August 1st or the weeks around it were the time that Lu lost his mother, and that is why the season of summer began to fade away, because he is a god of agriculture and the seasons. So in his sadness, summer started to wane from him, and so thus from the world. So you can look at Lunasa that way as well. If you have a motherly figure or grandmotherly figure or whomever that has passed, recent or not, today could be a day that you also to set aside just to honor that individual or to work with that individual spirit or whatever. So that's something to keep in mind as well. I love Lunasa. I said in my recent video about 12 random questions in the Magic Tag video, I did say that Lunasa is my favorite Sabbath, and it is, because I get a little summer and I get a little fall, and it's nice. If you can go outside today to celebrate Lunasa, absolutely do. Whenever you can go outside to celebrate or do any kind of magic. But I know for me, it has been... Sorry, I heard my cat outside, the same cat that's causing so many problems. But I know for me that it is way too hot here in Alabama right now to even pretend to go outside to do magic for an extended period of time. So I will be indoors. Also, because we are dealing with a Celtic deity, if you can do magic outside or simulate it indoors, doing magic on a hill is always really powerful, I think, when invoking Celtic deities, because of the whole she, which is a mound or a hill. That's always powerful. Always powerful. That's really a natural beacon of energy for Celtic gods and Celtic power, if that makes sense. So there's that as well. So anywho, happy Lunasa. I hope you have a really great Lunasa, and I hope you find time to be magical, go on astral journeys, read some excerpts from a magical book. Speaking of, this would be a great book to read today. Lu, or anything Celtic, fairy tales. You can find a lot of fairy tales about Lu for free on the internet everywhere. So I encourage you to do that. But yes, honor your ancestors. Meet your own ancestors today. They don't have to be Celtic. Thank you so much. And don't forget to follow my links down below, where you can follow me on other social media, or where you can book a personal reading with me over on Facebook. Thank you so much, and goodbye. Happy Lunasa.